Hi everybody. As I said in my last talk that I would be providing a summary version of the same talk in English. So here is the same talk on politics in short. Actually, broadly defined, politics is the process by which groups of people make collective decisions. The term derives from the Greek word polis, or city-states, which served as the primary unit of social organization in ancient Greece. So, consequently, politics originally described the governance and shared life of citizens within those communities. Well, politics can be understood through several distinct lenses, ranging from resource management to the exercise of influence. So, while Harold Laswell famously defined it as a struggle of who gets what, when, and how regarding the distribution of scarce resources, David Easton expanded this to the authoritative allocation of values, where society makes binding decisions about its core ideals and assets. Actually, beyond mere distribution, Bernard Crick viewed politics as a civilized alternative to violence, specifically a method of conflict resolution rooted in negotiation and compromise. Ultimately, as Robert Dahl noted, these processes often boil down to the exercise of power, defined by one actor's fundamental ability to influence the actions of another. Now, political dynamics operate across three distinct scales, ranging from the systemic to the individual. At the macro-political level, the focus is on national systems and international relations that shape the global stage. So, bridging the gap are mesopolitics, which involve intermediary structures like political parties and social movements that organize collective interests. Finally, micropolitics centers on the power of the individual, encompassing personal actions such as voting, protesting, and community activism. Well, philosophical perspectives on the state have evolved from viewing it as a mechanism for virtue and security to seeing it as a necessary evil prone to dangerous concentration of power. Actually, underlying this evolution are fundamental debates about human nature and the extent to which it must be controlled to secure collective security, stability, and prosperity and happiness. So today, most of the advanced democracies function as a welfare state. The state now plays a pervasive role, actively intervening in the social, economic, and political lives of its citizens to ensure a minimum standard of well-being. While these interventions aim to protect the vulnerable, they often blur the line between public authority and personal autonomy. So, democracy is fundamentally rooted in cautious, realistic perspective on human nature, recognizing that individuals in power are susceptible to corruption. To counter this, the system incorporates checks and balances, transparency, accountability, and the separation of powers among the three branches of government, supported by a vigilant media. Ultimate authority is vested in the populace through the power of the vote. Well, actually, why has the term politics come to carry such a negative connotation? Simply put, the toxic behavior of its participants has corrupted the true spirit of public service, turning a noble endeavor into a dirty word. Politics is associated with power struggles, personal gain, and division over the greater good, rather than the intended purpose of collaborative governance. In the context of the Tibetan exile politics, this negative perception is frequently highlighted by regionalism, where members of the Tibetan Parliament in exile prioritize regional loyalties over unified national interests. So, this regional factionalism has at times undermined the cohesion of the exiled community and the central Tibetan administration's efforts. leading to infighting and ideological divides that mirror the manipulative, self-serving aspects commonly despised in mainstream politics. The prevalence of this parochial voting behavior and regional sentiment weaken our collective goal of the Tibetan movement and fuel resentment within the diaspora. Thank you.